Hello everyone, it's Broken Doll here with another rope tutorial for you. Today I am going to attempt to show you how to do my version of the mermaid tie. Um, I'm going to just be honest up front and let you know that I was just tying, so I'm not 100% sure how I did it, but we're going to get as close as possible. So if you're interested in that, learning how to do that tie, please go grab some rope and come tie with me. So for today's tie, I'm going to use two different colored ropes. I'm going to use the black light reflective fuchsia rope from Dyadic Rope, and I'm going to use um, Caribbean Blue, also from Dyadic. Um, they're both in 40 feet. I just lost my bite on this one, so I'm just going to make sure I am still somewhat even. They're both 40 feet of rope. You can tie with a shorter rope. Most people tie with 30 feet. The 40 feet is going to be a little bit hard to work with to start with just because you're going to have a lot of excess rope. I prefer tying with 40 feet. I'm going to attempt to not have to join rope to do the tutorial. So let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to start by creating a lark's head just below my knees. I know in the original tie, I start up by my upper thigh, like almost by my hips. I'm not going to do the full tie. I'm just going to show you how I did it. It would just take too long, and if I'm being completely honest, I've filmed this several times and I've just accepted this is going to be a longer video. So I'm going to try and shorten it, but still show you how I did it. So I'm going to start by creating a lark's head. My rope is actually going to come in different directions. So for my the fuchsia rope, I'm just going to call pink. The Caribbean Blue, I'm just going to call blue. So I'm going to start with my pink rope. I'm going to find the bite, which is just the center of the rope that I folded over to create this loop. And I'm going to come from the left side of my body and bring it to the center right in between my legs up by my knees. And all I'm going to do is take my working end and wrap it all the way around my legs. I'm going to come back to the front and I'm going to take all of this rope that I have here and bring it through the bite. And that's going to create our first lark's head. So once you do that, you obviously reverse the tension to create that first loop. Now for right now, I'm going to leave this up front so that you guys can see what I'm doing. But once I have the blue rope on, I'm actually going to bring this to the back of my leg so that you can't see it. So I'm done with my pink rope for now. I'm just going to pinch that between my knees so that it stays put as much as possible. And we're going to move on to my blue rope. Now my pink rope came from the left side. My blue rope is going to come from the right side. We're going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to bring the blue to the center in between my legs. I'm going to wrap it behind my legs, wrap it around my legs, making sure that it's staying underneath my pink rope. So I'm going to bring that all the way around, open up my bite here, and bring all of the blue rope through my bite. And then I'm gonna readjust it so that it's in the position I want and tighten that down. So now that we have both of our lark's head roughly in the center, I'm just gonna move them to the back. They are in the center of my legs still, in the back, right kind of in that crack between my legs. And I'm still reversing the tension. I'm gonna pull them a little bit tight. I don't want them too terribly tight, especially my pink rope, because I'm gonna just make a loop with my pink rope here in a second. I'll show you that here in a minute. But for right now, I don't need my blue rope. I'm gonna start my pattern going down. They're gonna be every other. So it's gonna be pink, blue, pink, all the way down. So since we're working with the pink right now, I'm gonna bring that. So I'm in the back, I'm reversing the tension. So if I brought my pink rope to the right side, then this could just be pulled out. But because I'm reversing the tension, I'm bringing it to the opposite side, pulling against that initial loop, creating a lark head. it's tightened down, so I can't just pull it out right now. So I'm gonna bring my pink rope around to the front, and I'm gonna create my first, what I'm gonna refer to as roundabouts. If you think of these as roads, my pink road is going from the left side of my body over to the right side of my body, and I'm going to create a loop or a roundabout within my pink rope, but the ultimate destination is still always going across my body to the right. So in order to create that loop or roundabout, I'm going to find kind of the middle of my legs. I'm going to pinch my rope, make an L shape, and then making the L shape going down towards my ankles. The pattern is going to be going downwards, so I want my loops to also be going downwards. So that's how we're going to form the loop. We're going to bring it down towards my ankles, then I'm going to form the loop, bring the rope back up. I'm going to let it cross over itself, and then bring my working end, my extra rope, over to the right, so that now we have our first little roundabout in here, our first little loop. So what are we going to do with our loop? Well, I'm going to make a loop out of the top of my pink rope. This probably would have been a little bit easier to do if I had made it while I was doing the lark's head, but that does get more difficult to hang onto the rope and keep everything nice, so I'm just going to do it now like this. It's a little bit of a tighter one, which is okay. We want this one tightened down to secure everything, so I'm just going to get it loose enough, hopefully, that I can pull my first little roundabout through, just like this. So it is tighter. It is a tighter one than we're gonna have doing the rest of the rope tying, but I just want the rope to stay put, so I am gonna make that first one a bit tight, much tighter than what we're gonna be tying with the rest of the time. So that's our first little rope roundabout. My pink is going to continue under the blue, and we're done with that one for now, so we can just let it go. And now we're going to be working with our blue rope, which is coming to the right. So I want the pattern to remain. I want it to be pink, blue, pink, blue. So my blue rope needs to come underneath my pink rope. It is over here on the right with me. My blue rope should always be traveling from right to left. So we're going to create our blue road here, going from right to left, and once we get to the middle, we are going to make our little roundabout. So I'm going to make the roundabout quick. Right now this is tight enough that my pink is staying, so I'm just going to show you with two hands. So in order to create my roundabout, I'm going to pinch in where the middle of my legs are to hold the rope there. I'm going to bring my road down towards my ankles, and then I'm going to curve it back up, holding the loop, creating a loop, and letting it cross over itself, and then bring my road across my body to the left. So we have the road coming from the right to the left, doing its little roundabout, and then continuing in the same direction that it started in. And once that little road is complete, I'm going to find my pink loop here. There we go. And I'm going to bring my blue loop, my blue roundabout up through. I'm coming from the bottom, going up and through the pink roundabout. And now we can tighten down the pink, since we know we don't need quite that much out there. Now, the first couple of stitches, especially the first pink ones, they're gonna be a little frustrating. It's kind of hard to get it started. Just bear with it. Once you get through that, it's gonna get a lot easier. So I'm gonna do just one more of these loops to get the pattern started and make sure everything's holding and it's gonna be easier to work with. So we're gonna go around and do one more pink one, and then we're gonna split the design so you can see how that happens. So I'm gonna bring my pink around, making sure that it's staying in between my two blue roads. And I want it to come underneath my last blue road to keep that pattern going. So here's the blue road, my pink is coming under. I'm untwisting my rope as I go. Okay, so now we are back to the middle of my legs. This is where we want to create our roundabout. So this line, this road is going from left to right. We want it to continue in that direction. We're just going to put a little roundabout in the middle of it. So I'm going to create my L shape and then my loop to come back over, cross over itself, and then to create the loop so that it continues going from left to right. So we haven't changed directions at all, we just made a little loop. And now my pink roundabout is going to come up from the bottom and go through my blue roundabout. And we've just created another little stitch. So now we can see the blue is pretty loose. So now that we got our next stitch through there, we can tighten that back up. So now you can create this singular pattern as long as you want. You could just do this if that's what you wanted to do. This is super pretty too. For the next time around, we're gonna split the pattern so that we get the two going. They're gonna diverge from each other. So now we just finished our pink road. We need to bring our blue road around. So I'm gonna bring that around my legs. I'm going to make sure that it comes underneath my pink road. And nothing's gonna change yet. So we're just gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna create my next roundabout. So I'm gonna get to the middle, create my little L shape, bring the rope down, curve it around. It's gonna come back up over itself. And then we're gonna bring that rope up and over to complete our little roundabout here. And there's our next loop. Now the thing that's gonna change is I don't want this blue loop to stay in the middle anymore. We want the blue loop to start diverging. So I'm gonna bring it, my blue roundabout up through my pink roundabout. But now instead of having equal tension, so to keep the loops in the middle, you want equal tension in both of your rows on either side. But now we want our blue roundabout to be off to the right side. So I actually want the road on the right side over here to be shorter than the road coming out on the left. That's gonna allow us to start getting that pattern where the two sides split away from each other. Normally here I would tighten down my pink loop, but we're not gonna do that yet because we need to create our next little arm here. So I'm gonna leave my blue how it is. I'm bringing my pink rope around my legs, making sure it's coming out under the blue just like we've been doing this whole time. Untwist a little bit. I'm getting twisted. Okay. And now here I am in the middle. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to create my roundabout. So heading down towards my feet, coming back up over itself, and then bringing that road to go back on its trajectory there. So now we have our loop. Now to make this split happen, we're actually going to bring it back through the pink loop that we've already put our blue rope through. So I'm going to make some space in here, make sure my blue's still staying where I want it, and pull the pink line through. So now I have two loops through the one rope. And now I can tighten down that pink loop. I want it to stay centered still. So I'm just going to make sure that my tension is even, and then pull the tension out over here. Okay. So now we have our two little arms starting to form. We just did a pink arm, so now I'm going to make sure that my pattern's sticking here, get my blue rope back up where it belongs, and bring that around to make the next little stitch in our new arms here. So I just brought the blue rope under and around. It's underneath the last pink wrap here. I'm gonna take my twists out some. Okay, so now we can make some choices here. We have 2 new loops, so we could, start creating a blue side and a pink side. We could continue this every other pattern. That's what I did in the original tie. That's what I'm gonna do here. So I'm gonna bring my blue rope across everything, get it lined up with my pink loop. So what this means, because I want my new little arms to continue to diverge from each other, I'm going to make sure that on blue there's more rope on the right side than there is on the left side of my body. So I'm going to create my next roundabout just the exact same way that we have been doing it. And I'm going to put it through my little pink arm here. And I am going to tighten the pink loop down some. But I'm going to do that with it in mind that I want my rope to continue kind of splitting off from each other. So now it's pink's turn. So I'm going to go around my legs. I'm going to make sure that I'm coming out underneath my blue road here. And now I have 2 blue guys. They're both going to need pink. And in my original tie, I have this X shape going. I'm like 90% sure this is what I did. So we're going to try it out and see what happens. But I'm actually going to create 2 separate pink loops as I go across. So in my head, I think that what's going to happen is the line in the middle is going to be diagonal then. And it's going to allow me to start creating that X pattern in between the ropes. So I've been holding my legs apart for some reason, so let me just get tightened back up here. Okay, so let's try it and see what happens. Okay, so here's my first pink loop. I'm going to come up to my first blue loop. Put this out of your way so you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna just create my roundabout like I have been, so nothing's changing. I'm underneath my first blue side. My left road is pretty short compared to the roads above it. I'm gonna bring the rope down, bring it back up, cross it over itself, and bring my pink road over everything else to create that little loop there. And then I'm gonna bring that roundabout through my first blue loop and tighten that blue loop down because I don't need that much slack in it. I'm gonna make sure that my pink road is the length that I want it. And now I'm gonna bring it up to make my next pink rope and kind of start this X shape. So I'm just bringing it over to this next blue loop and I'm doing the exact same thing. Nothing is changing. I'm gonna bring my rope down, bring it back up over itself, and then across to create my little roundabout. And then I'm gonna bring it through my blue roundabout, my second blue roundabout. Now, so the tighter the roads are on the outside, you want that to be pretty short, and you need to allow slack in the middle so that it can be pulled apart. So keep that in mind as you're tightening down. And if you pull too hard on your second loop, your first loop's gonna come undone. So you need to also be paying attention to that. Okay, so we just did our 2 pink loops. And now we're gonna do our blue loops. And we're gonna try and keep our pattern going here, but we might have to condense the rope to do some stuff it doesn't wanna do. So here we go with our blue, who's up in between these 2 rows. I'm gonna bring it around and under. And I think for right now, I'm gonna try and keep my same pattern going. We'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna bring my blue rope under. And now I think I actually want this line to be over. This is where they want to lay, so I'm going to see if I can just work my blue line in between these 2 pink lines. And then create our loop. So we're doing exact same roundabout. We're starting from the right, going left. We want to continue that direction. So I'm going to go down, around, and over itself. And go up through this roundabout here. And see if it'll nest kind of in between those lines. And now we're gonna do the same thing again. So continue my little, I'm gonna shorten this a little bit because I want it to pull apart more. Okay, so here's my next blue line. It's coming over. I'm gonna make another roundabout to go through this second pink guy. Oops. Pulled it out. Hold on a second here. All right, I'm gonna leave a little more slack so that we don't accidentally pull it out again. Okay, and then I'm making another roundabout. And there it is. And I'm gonna bring it through my pink roundabout here. I'm just gonna adjust some of my pink line to make sure that I'm pulling apart still. And I'm gonna do the same with my blue line. Try and convince it to stay between those pink roads. Okay, so here's what we're looking like right now. So I'm gonna do one more time around. And see what we're looking like. I'll take off my sweatshirt because I'm getting super warm. Okay, so let's do one more and then I will show you how to close it up. So we just did 2 blue, which means we're on pink. I'm gonna try and keep my pink between these roads. Come under. Under all of it. Make my first little roundabout here. And I'm gonna actually start the process of, I know it's not a very big opening, but bringing them back together just so I don't run out of rope here. So to bring them back together, all I'm doing is making my outside road a little bit longer than the previous ones so that it can start getting pulled back together. And I'm gonna keep my loop a little bit larger. That way I don't accidentally pull it out while I'm creating my next roundabout. And then I'm just gonna make sure that my rope is roughly the tightness that I want, so I'm not pulling the pattern apart. And now we have two pink ones, but they're kind of coming back together here. And let's do our next blue. So I'm just gonna bring it under everything. And now this time I'm not gonna do two blues, I'm just gonna do one blue and connect my pink loops together. So I'm gonna come roughly to the center, make my roundabout like we have been doing. Except for I should make it going the right direction. Okay, so I'm gonna go through my first pink loop, and then I'm gonna layer my second pink loop right on top. So now we have them together. I'm gonna tighten everything down a bit. And you can see that loop. If we had done more, you'd be able to see kind of an X shape forming, but I didn't. So here's where we're at right now. Okay, so I'm just gonna do one more pink loop just to show you, and then we'll end it. So I'm just coming around under everything. I'm gonna make my pink roundabout like we have been doing. Come up in between the loop on my blue loop, and I'm going to tighten my blue down a little bit. There we go. I think I want to tighten that pink one down just a little bit. I don't like how it looks. Okay, there we go. So let's do one more blue. We're just gonna come around. Come under our pink like we have been doing this whole time. And go down, around, and back over. Tighten down the pink a little bit. Okay, so this time I am gonna come through with my pink, but I'm still gonna pull it through, but I'm gonna make my loop like normal, but I'm gonna pull my blue all of the way down, tight against it, and then come around with the pink one more time. Just to tighten everything up and start to end the tie here. And I know that I have a bunch of rope left, but I think you get the general idea of how to do this. Okay, so I'm going to tighten the blue rope as much as possible. And then I'm going to bring pink around one more time. And I'm going to bring it over the top. And I'm going to pull it all the way through the loop. And then tighten it down. And then if I was going to wear it for a while, I would just bring all of the rope, any extra rope that I had between my ankles, and tie it off and back. If I was doing a full tie, I wouldn't have this much rope left, but you get the idea. I'd just probably do a hitch in the back. So I think this gave you a general idea of at least how to do the pattern. If you continue to go out, you'd obviously be able to make a more defined pattern than what we have here right now. And then then you can go back and just follow the rope around to get everything tightened up and laying how you want it. I feel like this is just going to be a double line right there. That's how it wants to lay. So this is an example of kind of what it would look like. Obviously, if you make this bigger, you're going to get more design in the middle there. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to message me and I'll try to help as best I can. Otherwise, have fun experimenting. And if you do a tie or incorporate this method at all, I'd love to see what you guys come up with. Thank you.